Welcome to Moon Mind. In this video, we're going to look at something many people experience, but few truly understand. Right now, your body is tired. Maybe deeply tired. But your mind refuses to slow down. Thoughts keep coming. One after another. Replaying what happened today. Jumping ahead into tomorrow. Creating that uneasy feeling that something still needs to be solved before you can finally rest. So you try. You count your breaths. You attempt to quiet everything. You tell yourself, just relax. And somehow, none of it works. Not because you're failing. But because you've been approaching this from the wrong direction. More than 2,500 years ago, the Buddha discovered something that completely changes how we understand moments like this. Your mind is not broken. You are not doing anything wrong. This restlessness you feel has a cause. And once that cause is clearly seen, something begins to shift. Because what keeps you awake is not the thoughts themselves. It's a misunderstanding about who you are in relation to those thoughts. The Buddha described human struggle through 4 simple truths. You already know the first one. This experience, this tension, this sleeplessness, is real. But tonight, we're going to explore the deeper layers. Not as ideas to believe. But as something you can observe directly, in your own experience. If you stay with this, you'll begin to notice what's actually fueling the restlessness. Why it continues, even when you're trying to let go. And you may even glimpse something profound. A moment where the struggle pauses on its own. Not because you forced it. But because you finally understood it. This isn't about relaxation techniques. This is about freedom. So settle in however you are. Lying down. Sitting. Eyes open or closed. There's nothing special you need to do. Just be willing to look honestly at what's happening. Let's begin with something simple. Notice your mind right now. There's a kind of voice, isn't there? A running commentary. It says things like, I need to sleep. Why am I still awake? Tomorrow is going to be difficult. I'm not handling this well. This voice has been with you all day. Narrating. Judging. Planning. Remembering. And over time, something subtle happens. You stop noticing it as a voice. And start assuming it is you. But look closely. When a thought appears. I'm not doing enough. Something is already there. Noticing that thought. There is the thought. And there is the awareness of the thought. 2 different things. If the thought were truly you, who is observing it? This question changes everything. Because it reveals a confusion most people never question. You've been identifying with something that isn't actually who you are. Thoughts appear on their own. A memory shows up, you didn't schedule it. A worry interrupts, you didn't invite it. An image flashes, you didn't create it intentionally. If you were your thoughts, you would control them completely. But you don't. And that matters. The Buddha described this as a kind of misidentification. Not a mistake in morality. But a mistake in perception. You're taking a process. And calling it a self. Your body changes constantly. Your feelings shift. Your perceptions vary depending on your state. Your thoughts evolve over time. Even your sense of awareness rises and falls. Everything you called me is moving. Changing. Unstable. This isn't something to believe. It's something you can observe. And at night, when everything quiets down, it becomes impossible to ignore. You lie there, wanting rest. And suddenly the mind becomes louder. I should be asleep by now. What's wrong with me? Tomorrow will be a disaster. If those thoughts were truly you, why would they work against you? Why would they create stress when you're already exhausted? The answer is both uncomfortable and freeing. They're just patterns. Conditioned responses, repeating themselves. Like a recording playing on its own. Not personal. Just familiar. And here's where the teaching becomes practical. Instead of trying to stop thoughts, notice them. Not their story, but their presence. A thought appears. I'll never fall asleep. Instead of believing it, or fighting it, simply recognize. A thought has appeared. That's it. No argument. No resistance. No agreement. Just seeing. Because the moment you see a thought clearly, you are no longer inside it. You are aware of it. And that awareness is already calm. Already still. Most people live as if thoughts create awareness. But it's the other way around. Awareness is already here. Thoughts move through it, like clouds passing through the sky. The sky isn't disturbed by the clouds. It doesn't chase them. It doesn't try to remove them. It simply allows them to pass. This is why trying to force your mind to be quiet doesn't work. Because force is still engagement. It tells your system. This is important. Stay alert. And so the mind becomes even more active. But when you stop treating thoughts as problems, something shifts naturally. They lose intensity. They pass more quickly. Not because you controlled them, but because you stopped feeding them. Now let's go deeper. Beneath all this thinking, there's something else happening. A subtle tension. A kind of wanting. Your body is ready to sleep. But your mind is reaching somewhere else. Into tomorrow. Into the past. Into imagined scenarios. Trying to fix, prepare, control. The Buddha called this craving. Not just desire. But the insistence that this moment should be different. I need to figure this out. I need to feel certain. I need this to be resolved before I can rest. Every thought carries that energy. A demand. And when that demand isn't met, the tension increases. You can feel it physically. Tightness in the chest. Restlessness in the body. Shallow breathing. You're lying down. But internally, you're still running. And here's the truth most people don't want to see. Thinking at night rarely solves anything. Real solutions happen during the day. When you can act, communicate, respond. At night, thinking just repeats. Because it's not solving. It's craving. And craving makes a promise it can't keep. Just think about it one more time. And you'll finally feel at ease. But ease never comes that way. Because peace doesn't come from satisfying craving. It comes from seeing it. So instead of following your thoughts tonight, notice what they're asking for. Look underneath them. I need to plan tomorrow. A desire for control. I should have done better. A desire to change the past. What if things go wrong? A desire for safety. Once you see this clearly, something becomes obvious. No amount of thinking will satisfy these demands. Because the demand itself is the source of tension. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop insisting. You stop demanding resolution, in a moment where it isn't possible. And when that shift happens, your body responds immediately. Breath deepens. Muscles soften. The nervous system settles. Not because your life is perfect, but because you're no longer fighting this moment. There's nothing you need to solve right now. Nothing you need to control. Nothing you need to force. Just notice. A thought appears. A feeling arises. A sensation moves through the body. And all of it is already changing. Already moving. Already passing. You don't have to fix your mind. You don't have to silence it. You don't have to become someone else. You only need to see clearly that thoughts are events, not identity. That craving is movement, not necessity. That everything arising is already dissolving. And in that seeing, something softens. Something releases. Sleep doesn't come because you forced it. It comes because there's nothing left to hold on to. And what remains is quiet, natural, effortless rest.